welcome to Talks and Sips, where fun is the best chaser. I am your host, Justice Narrows, aka J Fox, helping you get through your ebbs and flows of another sip-worthy week. Happy official International Women's Day. Woo! Pew, 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 pew. Today's podcast is gonna be dripping in girl power. Power. Are you guys power? No, I'm just kidding. I don't even remember how I was listening to a song earlier today, and the words are like, I forget what song it is. I don't know if you know this one.
What is it?
It's I'm gonna okay, got it. I'm gonna sing this song. I'm gonna not sing this song. I'm gonna
Sing
word
it, girl.
I'm gonna
It's Sunday.
word this song, and then I want to see if you can guess what it is.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Ay, no hay que llorar, no hay que llorar, que la vida es un carnaval y es más bello vivir cantando.
I love her. She is now officially on our quarter, by the way.
I know, that's big.
Celia Cruz, the
Yes.
first Latina, Afro-Latina on a piece of American currency. That's big. That's a big deal.
That's huge.
I mean, it doesn't like fix the problem. There's still a lot of reparations. That's another podcast for another time.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So I thought it was very fortuitous because, you know, what day it is today. And honestly, like the entire month is, you know, it's like acknowledging all the amazing contributions that women have done, you know, throughout history for women. Yeah. But who are you? What's going on? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I don't even know how to introduce myself. But
What's your name? What's your sipping?
Let's start with my name.
Okay.
So my name is Tatiana Ramirez.
Yeah.
Also known as Tati, whatever's easier, because, you know, I've gotten a lot in the book with Tatiana. You'd be surprised. We can get into that later.
Oh, yes.
But I'm sipping a winter melon boba tea.
Yeah, you said off camera that you really like sipping flowers.
I do. Oh yeah, I like drinking perfumes. That's what I've been told because I'm a tea drinker. I prefer tea over coffee, and so I don't even know where. Am I supposed to be looking here?
Okay,
so how does this work?
I'm gonna keep this. This is great. So just like in The Office, you're gonna basically talk to me, but then when you want to direct something to the audience, you look there.
Oh, we're breaking fourth walls. Wow.
Yeah. People love it. People love
Yeah, we're breaking seventh walls because seven's my lucky number.
But
anyways.
I will say something. I know you're passionate. You're a passionate lady like I am.
Yes.
And you want to do this. And
Yes,
you
I
want to
do.
do this.
I do.
And you want to do these.
I do.
Fight the urge.
Oh,
Talk
gosh.
like this.
Oh,
See?
we're speaking with our voices.
We're speaking
God.
with our hands in the air, and we're waving them like we just don't care. Back here, not on the table where the microphones are.
That is, thank you. I was like, I don't even know how to do this. Is my first podcast ever, so
Welcome.
I feel like the Star Tours robot who is like every time if anybody hasn't been to Star Tours in a minute, but like, well, it's changed now, but.
Are you talking about the ride where across the street across the from Toy Story? Yeah,
the Buzz Lightyear one. Yeah, that one. Any Disney fanatics, y'all know what I'm talking about. But I think they changed it now. Right now, it's like C-3PO that's guiding you or whatever.
Honestly, once they built Star Wars Land, I never looked back at that ride.
I know, it's so
sad.
It makes me sad because that's what started it all. You know,
That is what started it all.
We would not have Star Wars Land without that ride.
Also, I wanna just give a shout out to that ride because it's the one motion type ride with screen that doesn't get me sick. Like,
yes.
Because if I go to Universal Studios, game
it's a wrap.
over. I'm like, bleh.
It's a wrap. Bleh. You know which one really did a number on me last time?
Which one?
King Kong. And it never did. Because, you know, it's the round tunnel of screens.
And you're in that.
And then they're like doing this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that was a lot for me. And recently, though. And I'm like, dang, is this what 30 feels like? Like,
no,
this is some bullshit.
That's what I'm fucking saying. Look. I was on the way here today, and I feel depleted because I'm a human being that is ebbing and flowing, like we said. Yep. And I was driving here in an hour or something traffic to get here today. Yeah. And I was stopping and going. So I had to take like Sunset or something all the way over here. Yeah. And then I got here and I was like, I think I'm car sick. And it's like, wait, but you're driving. I'm like, yeah, but I felt that. Like,
yeah, you could like, if you don't have the air in your face, like that's what I've noticed about myself recently. Like today, Benny, my fiance is behind the scenes there. He's here. He was my driver today.
Yay!
But yeah, coming over here, I was like, normally I'm very cold in his car because he puts the AC on full blast. And lately, I mean, he's been putting it the heater on, which is nice because, you know, I'm friolenta, so I'm always cold.
Yeah.
But today I was like, it is too damn hot. And then I was looking at my phone because I was trying to find a tea place to go to all last minute.
Oh, so then now it's on the side of your eyes.
Oh, so then I was looking at my screen trying to read, and then the heat, girl, it was a bad combo. I'm telling you, 30 changes for those youngins out there. 30 is a wonderful time. However, your body changes.
Is that what they say? Like you're now making decisions. You're okay with actually saying yes, saying no, saying I don't agree with this. You can be mad at me.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice.
It's very nice. You're definitely 30, flirty, and thriving.
Hey,
13 going on
bad.
30
Look,
was right.
My highlight of today was finding a Sprouts.
Yeah. That's a really great, by the way, markets are a whole new experience. You know how before I was like, oh, I'm going to go into like Hot Topic or like Forever 21. I'm going to find a cute little fit. And like that was the thing. And now it's like, no, like where's the big Target at?
Bitch, I don't have no desire to try on clothes.
None. I'm like, where's the big IKEA at? So I could try the food.
Oh, yeah. I'm here for the meatballs.
The meatballs or the cakes. Like, that's where your mind goes.
Speaking of sugar.
Practical.
Sugar. How are you doing? Sugar. Azúcar.
I'm doing well. It's good. Life is sweet right now. Life is super sweet. I got my fiance.
Oh, dang. As Beyonce says it, he cuffed it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. For the rest of his life. It's game over. I'm just kidding. We're not doing that.
I love that.
I'm just totally kidding.
I love it.
No, but life is very sweet. You know, I'm in the career path. I took time to go to school and like I was feeling there was some in it there, the dark ages, where I was really questioning whether or not school was
the way for you.
The way for me. Well, not the way, but it was more like, was it going to be worth it? Because fair. I was like, I'm not finding the job in the field that I want. And it's like, what am I going to do? But now I'm like, I'm in my field. I'm doing what I love. Like,
I love it because originally you were going to go into like marketing and that type of stuff, right?
Yeah. So I am in marketing, which is wonderful, but I wanted like entertainment marketing.
Yeah.
Which I did. And I started in that.
Yeah.
But now I'm in more, nonprofit. I'm in the nonprofit world, which is interesting because I always told myself that I was either going to be, in education or in music. I was always going to end up in one of those fields. Yeah. And then eventually my career path would go into teaching, like giving back to the next generation, which I think that's the trajectory I'm going for now. But yeah, the nonprofit sphere, I've always been in the nonprofit sphere. If we can speak English today. And I started there and I really loved it. And now I'm back. I'm like, but I love the studio. Like I love being in studio. The vibe. But now I get to do both. So I do the nonprofit, but in marketing, it's really cool because a lot of the times you're behind the scenes shooting like promo videos and stuff. So I do get the nice marriage of the two. And now that I've worked in entertainment, it's kind of like, you know what is gonna sell and like
you're literally coming in with the leg up,
yeah,
right? Because I feel
like that
there's like a separation, right? There's in the nonprofit world or anywhere that's not like media centered, where it's like this is an afterthought that helps us as opposed to something that makes us, right? Like you're coming in with like your previous skill set. I love that because it's like you've changed your trajectory and you've changed your career path. And actually, in last week's episode, we were talking about that it was like, oh, you know. It's really cool because at school they teach you like go to the college, pick what you're gonna do, this is it, right? It's like that mentality, like that boomer mentality where you're like, I'm gonna work here till I retire and this is it, this is all I got. It's like, no, we have such a privilege to go, hey, like this is a skill set I'm gonna like get behind and learn and do at this workplace with this education, but I can actually decide to change my mind later, but now I have this skill set to take with me to the next thing, and it could probably help that. And so in like this case, you're completely not where you were originally destined, but it's everything that you went through got you here, and it's helping this further. Like I don't think you would be able to do as an amazing as a job today had you not had those experiences.
100%. Yeah. And it's wild because it's like you always get in your own head about like, oh my gosh, this is not what I wanted, or like, this isn't how this was supposed to end up. But I was talking to my sister, and it's so funny that this theme got brought up because I was talking to my sister the other day, and I was telling her, because she's kind of in that headspace now. She recently graduated from school.
She's like, wait a second.
Yeah, and it's like, you know how you kind of like, it's almost like you're kind of landing the plane while also kind of learning how to fly it.
Of course.
And so she's in this weird phase of transitioning from out of a student into like an actual worker bee.
And that's always a weird like beginning
so
month or two. You're like, what do I do?
Yeah, it's such a weird place to be. So I told her, I was like, look, your goal is going to stay the same. How you get there might change. I said, and you have to be open to the process because life isn't meant to be lived linearly.
Like
linear.
Yeah,
I don't even know if that's a word. It's not linear.
It's not. Hey, well, I'll take it linearly.
Linearly. It's like funner. This is
like
more funner.
Literally, your path is not linearly. Okay.
No, it really isn't.
Yeah.
That should be on a shirt. Literally,
make it.
Someone out there, make it. No, but yeah. So it's not linear. You know, you're always gonna kind of go around and figure out where you end up, and I think that's what happened with me, and I love it.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that worked out. And so like what is something difficult that you've had to do at this new in this new journey that you're like, whoa, like I can't believe I did that?
You know, everything. Whoa, yeah. Okay. This one was this job, I was going into it knowing what I was supposed to be doing, but I was going into it without a full team behind me. And you know, in the media world, like you always have teams. Yeah. Like there's teams that take care of every aspect of whatever you watch from, you know, there's like, if you're watching a video on like YouTube or whatever, you're going to have like your pre-production people, your actual production people, your post-production people, your graphic designers, your social media managers. And then, you know,
in a good world where you don't have to wear multiple hats.
Yeah. In a healthy world. I'm not going to say normal because I was, normal is like, norm. It's not normal. But in a healthy world, you would have teams for everybody. And usually you do. But this time, it's like I went into it and I was like a one-woman show for the longest time. And I got the opportunity to then build my team, which I'm slowly building out now. So yeah, everything was a challenge because now it's like I'm doing it by myself.
Wow.
So it's cool. Like I did a video that's now on socials all over the place. And I've done like press conferences and I've written press, and press is a different world.
Is it?
Marketing, so they usually combine marketing and PR in like school. Yeah. And you do both because you have to know how to do both. Yeah. But PR is like its own separate vein from marketing. Marketing is very like fun and strategic and like you're doing
How do we sell something to someone?
How do we sell something to someone? Yeah. Yeah. And then PR is more like, who do you want me to tell? They're like the chismosas, you know, like
they're the tias.
They're the tias. They write it all and then they send it out into the world and then that's how everybody knows about it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's so interesting. It's wild. And I'm learning so much, which is my favorite thing. Because I've always told myself I want to be a lifelong student. Yeah. So I feel like once you stop learning shit, like that's when you start to get old. And old is a state of mind, folks. I don't want to.
She's giving us Pedro Pascal right now.
Yeah. Old is a state of mind. You always have to be a learner. You have to be a student.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like science. It's like science. It's like legitimate science, right? Like if you don't want to get, you know, and I'm sure like genetics obviously play a part in it, but really like, what do they say? Like keep learning. Your brain synapses, keep them firing, keep them shooting. Just the way you go out to, you know, work your body at the gym. Like your brain, it's its own, you know.
Its own muscle.
Yeah, it's freaking amazing. You were telling me off camera that you and your sister went to a sound bath?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was like, I dive into, as soon as I see Jess, you're like the easiest person to talk to. I'm like, every time I come in, I'm just like, we're just start chatting. I just had to she's like, slow down. She's like, wait for me. Put the headphones on. So now we're here. We waited. No, so my sister.
It was so juicy. I was like, no, I want to hear it.
I know. So my sister's really into like the, I don't know what to call it. I guess you would call it the cult. Benny, who's my fiance, he's like, that's brujeria. I'm like, it's not brujeria. It's like
he's nodding his head off camera.
It's like, you know, like the crystal shops and like the horoscope, the astrology, and
the something moon rising, the something blah blah blah.
Yeah. And like it's all what? It's all witchcraft. It's not. It's a study. It's an art. It really is. Like I've gained appreciation for it. I think before I was like very much like, this is brujeria. I'm not about that life. Yeah. But now I'm like, you know what?
There's something there.
So my sister, she went to a sound bath recently, and thank you. I know. I'm like, Can you guys hear that? No, so my sister, she went to a sound bath recently and she had this really wonderful transformative experience. And she unleashed, because so sound bath, it's not a sound deprivation thing.
Yes, thank you for clarifying.
I was going to say, because
people are going to ask, what?
People are going to be like, what is that?
Yeah.
So check it out. You have to see pictures. But a sound bath is going to be the bowls. So like if you ever see, they're these gorgeous bowls, but they're huge and they're all different sizes. It's kind of like, you know, when you put water in a cup and then you do the finger thing, like in Miss Congeniality. Yeah. So, and each one is it's a different vibration, and each vibration is supposed to unblock a chakra, because everybody has 7 chakras, right? So it's supposed to unblock a chakra depending on the vibration that's being played. And you go, it's usually in a room, it's shared, and it's like a group of people, they all kind of lay down in the middle, and there's somebody who guides you through it. So it's like a guided meditation. Okay. Anywhere. Like it's usually, I went to a crystal shop. So crystal shops usually have them, or like these spiritual houses or spirit shops. I think in Hollywood, they have House of Intuition somewhere around here.
Probably.
That's like kind of the big one here, and it's like a chain. Out by where I'm at, which is Southeast LA, there's a few different like mom and pop shops. So I went to the same one my sister went to, and she was like, this is wonderful. Like I cried because, you know, I was like, my heart chakra was open and like everything was magical. I was receiving messages, and I'm like, that's wonderful. Yes. I'm like, I want to do that. Like, cause
baby girl, how do I get that enlightenment?
And because I like, you know, I like new experiences. I feel like this life is supposed to be lived, and you know, you go and you just try things. Like I had my tarot read at one point. I mean, whether there's truth to it or not, I mean, who knows?
I could never do the tarot, man. My mom would disown me.
People, you know,
yeah.
But people, you know, it's just, you kind of go, and I don't know. It's interesting. So then I went, because my sister had this wonderful, beautiful, transformative experience. So I was like, I want to have a wonderful, beautiful, transformative experience. So I went thinking I was going to have that, and I didn't. And it made me sad.
Well, what did you have?
But mine was different. And it was a little nerve-wracking, but at the same time I was like, you know what? I was like, maybe this is just how it's supposed to be. So
she's like, I saw the Babadook.
Girl. She jogs, like she laughs, but literally like, so you go in and it's supposed to be relaxing because it's a meditation, and you're supposed to be relaxed. Some people fall asleep. Like you hear people snoring in the room.
Oh, that'd be me.
And you're supposed to wake up refreshed and like, because all your chakras are unblocked. And then some people cry, and then some people like, I don't know, they do other things, right? They feel things. But me, I went in and I was like, I'm laying on the mat and I'm like this, and I'm like, okay. I was like, I'm asleep. This is great. And I'm like waiting for something magical to happen. Yeah. As these bowls are being played. Wow. And nothing. And I'm like, I just couldn't, like, I felt like I couldn't relax. You never feel that? Like when you're.
All the time, baby girl. Yeah. All the time. We are made of the same cloth.
We're both Leos, by the way, for anybody though. So we just come with a lot of energy anyways. Like, but I just couldn't relax. Like it kind of felt like that nagging feeling that you get like when you're trying to sleep, or like if like you have a little sibling or whatever, just always waking up. That's what it just felt like. It just felt like I couldn't relax. And so I was like, okay, whatever. So I got up for a little bit and I just stood up while everybody else was asleep. Half the room was asleep. And then I was like, okay, we're gonna try this again. So then I was like, I took a few deep breaths, you know, I'm breathing in the incense and I'm like trying to be transformative.
You're vibing.
I'm trying to vibe. Yeah. And the lights were going off in different colors. And I'm like, okay. So I was like, time to go to sleep. Like laid back, try to go to sleep again. Tell me why, Jess Cisneros.
What happened?
I had my eyeballs closed and I started to see faces of like people that I did not know.
No, like normal looking people?
No, normal. Like I just people, but like people I didn't know, like faces. And like there's this one distinct face that I have in my mind that will not go away.
Woman, man, young.
A man. It looked like a man, bald with a mustache.
Okay, so
and indigenous features. It was wild.
So not the Pringles man, got it.
No, not the Pringles man, not the Monopoly man either.
Okay.
But I started to see that. And then the faces started to fade, and then as if that wasn't freaky enough, right?
That's freaky.
And then I started to see like hands, kind of like if I did that to your eyeballs, like lots of that happening. But like hands.
Touching you?
Not touching me, just like hands like kind of in and out of frame while my eyes are closed.
Holy crap.
And I'm like, what's going on? I was like, this is weird. And so then of course I wake up again because I feel like I can't relax because it scared me.
So now your anxiety.
Now my anxiety is like through the roof. Yeah. And I was like, well, what is this? I'm like, this is not how this is supposed to go. And so then I'm like, you know what, whatever. I said, and I'm like sitting there and I'm like, how much longer do I have to sit here?
Right.
But I was like,
I already paid. Yeah.
I paid $40 for this. I'm like, and I'm not relaxing. and everyone's snoring. And so then I was like,
everyone's off in heaven right now.
Everyone is like experiencing some beautiful transformational experience, and now here I am with my anxiety through the roof. And so then I was like, okay, you know what? We're just gonna write it out. So I just sat there. I looked at my phone for the time. There was like 20 minutes left. I'm like, okay, I could do 20 minutes. I'm like, this is fine. Mm-hmm. So I started to just lay there, and I lay there on my side, like a little kid in timeout. I was just like, fetal position. I was like, I'm just gonna wait. No. And so then the session finally ends, and the lady, like, she comes, she's like, as everybody wake up, she does the gong, and she's very sweet. Her like voice is very breathy because she's a meditator, and
so she's like bringing you back down.
She's like bringing you back up, coming back into your body, feeling the vibrations,
feel that
awakening. ASMR. This is a new podcast now
because we are opening or something of your chakra.
Yeah,
or something.
That's really what it felt like. And so then I was like, okay, well, we're here. And so I wake up, and she does, like, everybody gets up, and then, like, she goes through and she asks questions and, like, asks, how did everybody feel or whatever. And she gets to me, and she's like, you feel a lot of energies, don't you? And I was just like, I don't know. I'm like, all I know is that I couldn't relax.
You told her that?
Yeah. Yes. And she's like, were you able to, well, she started with, were you able to relax? And I said, yeah, I relaxed for like 5 minutes. Cause it was true. There was 5 minutes where I was like solid. Oh, this feels good. Mm-hmm. And then the anxiety came back, and I was like, and I was like, okay, this does not feel good.
Someone's going to write in and be like, she's experiencing this.
Oh my God. Please, somebody explain this to me. Cause I don't know what was happening. Mm-hmm. And I asked this lady, cause I was like, am I supposed to, cause I didn't know what I was supposed to be feeling. And so I was like,
what's the roadmap here?
Yeah, I was like, is this how this is supposed to go? And she's like, when we start the session, I usually call on everybody's ancestors to come and help and guide them.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. I'm like, where are we going with this? And she's like, yeah, so you might have been seeing the faces of people's ancestors and like their wings or their hands guiding you. And I'm just like,
you did see hands.
I did see hands, and I was like, God, they could catch these hands. I'll tell you what.
You know what? Please don't bug me. Lisa, can you get your Uncle Tom out of my mind, out of my face?
Can you get your Theo out of here?
Yeah,
because this is weird. So that is what I experienced, and I was like, I don't know if there's any truth to it, but then going back to what we were talking about off camera, Benny and I have experienced some weird things, and he talk about supernatural stuff with him
all the time. Yeah.
I'm not a spooky girl. I don't like the spooks. I'm sorry. I tried.
Womp womp. No, I'm just kidding. No. It's okay. We all have to be a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? We can't all like the same things. That's fine.
I know. I'm not a spooky girl. And even the studio is wonderful. Don't get me wrong. It's marvelous. Yeah, it's very rock and roll, but it's also very like scary.
Spooky.
There's a lot of spooks things.
I know. I love it because everyone's always describing the studio, but they'll never really know what it's like.
Yeah.
Right? Only you guys do. It's great.
It's great.
All right.
I can give people like a mental image. If you like figurines of like skeletons, which I love. I actually have a lot of figurines of skeletons in my room, by the way. And mine are doing yoga poses. These are doing other poses, the ones that I'm looking at over here. But
they're dirty.
Yeah, and they're dirty skeletons.
Dirty
birdies. No, but it's a wonderful studio. But yeah, I'm not a spooky girl. And so to experience supernatural things is odd. And it's a little off-putting because I won't even watch him. I almost broke up with Benny because we watched The Conjuring.
So you almost broke up with Benny because you guys watched The Conjuring?
Yeah, it was The Conjuring, right, babe? Yeah, it was The Conjuring. See, I don't even know the scary movies that are out there.
Wait, was it because he made you watch it like against your will? Were you taped to a chair? Did he like pin your eyes open? Like these are some big breaking up with like the love of your life over a spooky. That's
yes. I know. And there's so many horror, and it's wild because I have a lot of horror fanatics in my life. And it's a wonderful genre for those who love it. For those who don't, like myself, it's not very wonderful. And so The Conjuring, I did not watch it against my will. It was consensual.
It was consensual horror movie watching.
It was a consensual horror movie experience. However, because again, I'm trying to, like, you're a lifelong student, bringing it back to that point. And I'm always trying to challenge myself to do things that I wouldn't normally do.
You didn't close yourself off.
It's great. I didn't close myself. I kept an open mind. I was like, we're going to try this whole horror movie experience again because there has to be some type of cinematic art to it that I'm not like into.
Yeah.
I'm not into.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's just watch it. And I can appreciate it for a movie, And so I was like, let's watch the movie. And he was like, okay. So he puts it on and I'm watching it. And if anybody has seen The Conjuring,
which most people have.
Most people have. The first like 20 minutes, no, not even the first like 5-ish minutes are really just like eerie. But I'm like, oh, it's okay. And then it kind of goes into like a happy sequence, right? Because it's about a house with the witch. But the family moves into the house and they're a young family. They're a cute little family.
Yeah.
And they like have a cute little dog. They're rambunctious children. Like it's a cute beginning. And I was like, okay, I can handle this. I'm like, but I also, the anxiety in the back of my mind is like,
you know it's coming.
The other shoe's going to drop.
Yeah.
It's going to drop.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, we're going to be okay. So we watched this movie I got 20 minutes into it. And then I don't even remember what part we stopped at. And I was just like, this is not for me. And I told him, I was like, I need you to turn it off. And he's like, babe, it's not that bad. No. And it's wild because he even asked me, when do you want to watch this movie? Because I refuse to watch movies at night, scary movies at night.
Okay.
Not anymore. I will watch other movies, but like scary movies in particular have to be watched during the daytime. Because I can't handle the nighttime movie experience.
Yeah, because there's the shadows in your room.
I'm not into it. Yeah, the spooks come out to play, and I'm not about it.
Okay.
So we saw this in the middle of the day. It was bright outside. We were having a great time. And 20 minutes into it, I said, we need to stop it. And he stopped, and we took a break. I was like, okay, I'm good. I said, okay, now play. So we hit play again. I got like 5 more minutes in, and I was like, I can't do this.
No, ya no se pudo.
And I was like, no. I was like, I can't watch this. Yeah, I'm like, get me out of here. And then the worst thing is that we were watching it at my house, which I've had this conversation with my girlfriends before, and if they're watching, they know. But there's a few of us that believe that if you watch a scary movie in your house, you're inviting the spooks in.
What?
Yes. Yes.
No.
Yes. No. Te lo juro. You're bringing the spookiness in, and I'm not trying to have all that spookiness in my house because truly I can't hang.
So you were having one of the spookiest movies at your house.
At my house, being played. The scariest I've ever gotten was like the Haunted Mansion. No, you know what? I lied. Sleepy Hollow. I did Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow's banger.
Yeah.
Banger.
I did watch Sleepy Hollow. That one was spooks. That one was spooktacular. I was into it.
Yeah.
But Johnny Depp was in it, so.
Johnny Depp was in it. Fucking, what's his face?
If Johnny's watching, hi.
Yeah, Sleepy Hollow was banger, dude, with Christopher Walken and his teeth, all his teeth.
Yes.
And I just can't unsee Christopher Walken like that anymore.
He was, I didn't even know it was Christopher Walken in that movie until years after.
Later.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh my gosh, it's the same guy, the guy that talks like this, the guy from New York.
Yeah, and to think don't judge me, but I was like, dang.
He's handsome.
He's hot.
Yeah, he was handsome.
Yeah, in that movie.
In his heyday, before his head got chopped off. Stitch that back and you're good.
Yeah.
Zaddy.
But no, speaking of spookies, so you get down with the Haunted Mansion?
I do. I don't like the ride.
Get out. Get out.
Okay, ya me voy.
Yeah, bye. How dare you? I may omit this. I'm kidding.
I know. That ride scares the shit out of me. It's the worst experience on the planet.
Funny.
Oh,
What's the scariest part of that ride for you? Nah, get out of here. You don't like the little statues at the end.
I know. Okay, you know what? The end is great because it's the end of the ride.
Or when you take the ghost home with you.
Yeah, that.
I love that.
I don't like that. As a kid, it always scared me.
What about when they change it so it's the Jack Skellington?
Oh, I love that. That whole experience is beautiful because it's like Christmassy, and I love Christmas. It's so festive and just glittery. There's glitter is my favorite color, and glitter's everywhere, and I love it. And that's what makes that whole ride wonderful afterwards.
You're like, it's only good for 3 months of the year.
Yes, it is. The rest, it's trash.
Oh, no.
No, I won't say that. It's not trash. Actually,
heavens.
I know. Foolish mortal.
Foolish mortal.
I feel like a foolish mortal right now. I didn't mean that. For those of you who like Haunted Mansion, it's a beautiful ride. I do love it.
She's like, but that shit's scary.
But it's scary. I don't, I've always not liked it as a kid. And maybe it was because it was always used as a punishment, if you...
That's what
our
it
Latinos
is.
back out there.
I'm starting to see I'm seeing the correlation here, the relationship forming. This is deeper.
It is deeper
than a ride.
The root
horror
of
movie.
It was deeper than a horror movie and a ride. Yes, because for any of my Latinos out there, you always get scared with the cucuy, or you were threatened with the cucuy.
Oh, of course.
Nobody's ever met this man or La Llorona.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever met that woman.
No.
We don't even know.
No.
You know, but then it's like.
But she's by the river.
But we know she's going to come. We know she's going to come for us if we do something bad.
Yeah, I guess it's that. It's like emotional. They would keep us emotionally hostage.
Literally.
Growing up as kids. And they would leverage fear into our lives for obediency.
Yes.
Insane.
It's wild. So the spooks were never a friend of mine.
No, because your mom was like, hey.
The spooks worked.
Ahí viene el cucuy. Go make your bed.
And I'm like, no. I don't know this man, but I don't want to meet him.
They won't even threaten you with Santa's not going to bring you presents.
Oh, no. I was cool with that. I'm like, no presents.
I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
You know what? On the inside, I was thinking that.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
I was like, I'm good with that. No, but then it's like, we're going to go to the Haunted Mansion. And I was like, no, we're not. I will behave. My God. We're good.
That's so crazy.
It's wild. And so as I got older, I learned to appreciate it because I'm also I'm a Disney fanatic. And I'm more of a history fanatic. I love looking at videos of how things were made. And so I watched a lot of videos of how the park was made and how the Haunted Mansion was made. And so then I gained an appreciation for it as a historian, if you will.
Yeah, yeah.
And
label it.
Yeah. And now as an adult, obviously I can ride the ride. Now it's not that bad. But will I go in there by myself? For example, if we're ever in a group, if we ever go to Disneyland and we're an odd number.
You're going to be like, no, fuck you, I'm not going alone.
I'm not going by myself. I will wait outside I will squeeze in between two people in that little doom buggy and we will all be squished for the entirety of that ride and I will sit in the middle. I am not sitting on the edge.
She is such an extrovert.
I cannot.
She's like, I don't care. You're going to hear me. Care. I am not going on that ride by myself.
Not by myself.
Oh my God.
That's a fact.
That's so
That is a
funny.
fact. Yeah, I can't do it. For Universal Studios, forget it. I'm never going. I still to this day have not
Horror
gone.
Nights?
Horror Nights, I've never gone. Ever. In my whole life.
To be fair, we went last year. It was fun, but it'll never be Horror Nights from 8 years ago.
Everyone tells me this.
Yeah,
they said it's not that bad. They're like, it's not scary anymore.
It's not really scary. There's too many people. They clump you up, and so you can. If someone else gets scared, you know where the scares are. So you're like, you know what I mean? You saw. There's just not enough. It'd be different if they let 4 people in at a time and waited maybe 30 seconds in between, but people just glob up. It's like COVID extreme.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not the same. Extreme. And even that, they used to have it where they had scares all over the park.
I've been told.
And now they're sectioned off to just certain sections. I'm like, it lost its pizzazz.
No, that's unfortunate. I feel I'm sorry for all the spooky lovers out there. Yeah. That's not cool.
That and I've seen people wait. The most we waited was an hour and a half for one just to walk through a maze.
That's a long time.
I know. There was people that waited for 2 hours, 3 hours.
There's no fast pass?
I mean, they're line
jumps?
Yeah,
line
but jumpers? Yes to both. There's illegal line jumping from adults.
Of course.
And then there is also the extremely expensive pass. So you got to pick your poison.
Yeah.
It was wild to me because there was this crazy clown maze that we had to do, Josh and I.
Absolutely not.
I hate clowns. I don't like them, but he's like, let's go, babe. And I'm like, do you really love me?
Red flag.
And red flag. The only red flag that man has. Anyway. And so basically there's this older group, and I'm talking your mom, my mom. Right. I don't mean 40s.
No.
I mean older group.
Yeah.
And they legit were lined, they were hopping across. Yeah, and they had a whole plan, and they cut us. And I didn't originally see it until Josh pointed it out, because I thought him and I were in line in this dialogue, right?
Right.
And then there's these people in front of us, and we haven't spoken to them. And I thought, maybe they're with them. And he's like, they don't know each other.
Oh.
Tell me why, 3 hours later, in a whole different part of the park, literally 2 miles north or whatever, that same group cut everybody again.
Again.
Oh, no. Fuera. Yeah, it was
that's
so
not cool.
sad. So, my poor boyfriend being the introvert that he is, while I'm the extrovert, I'm like, you better hold me back, cuz. You better hold me back.
Oh, she's about to throw hands.
I'm about to pull some old lady hair, And so,
no.
I say all this, though. I say all this because I think of your relationship and I think of your partner and I'm like, man, you couldn't be
more opposite.
Yeah, you guys are so opposite.
The opposites.
Very opposite. And so when it came to like finding some content, like what's making me laugh, it's very serendipitous that I'm like scrolling and doom scrolling like everybody else.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, look, it's a meme perfect for Tati. And it's
what
like,
is it?
Oh my God, it's so good. It is literally this. And it's like when an introvert marries an extrovert, and he's like, and so basically, if you want to describe it for people,
yeah. So it's the Spider-Man scene, and it's with the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and Tobey's saying, or it says like, "I'll just take them off." And then she says, "He said no pickles." And it's Mary Jane like looking back
with attitude, stank.
Accurate. I feel like that's accurate.
He said no pickles.
I know. Benny's usually the first one to be like, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah. And now I'm like, we're worrying about it today.
You put money down for this. And this goes back to like you going to that thing where you're like, I paid $40.
I'm gonna sit through the whole
fucking thing.
We're sitting to the whole thing. I will tough it out. But yeah, that's not wrong. It's pretty accurate.
Yeah. Is there a memory that you can remember where you've had to kind of do that for him? Or just in general where you guys are like in a setting? It could be with friends. You're like, girl, nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm like thinking back. You're making me. There's one that for sure stands out. Babe,
he's nodding his head.
Yeah. There's been a few times where I've been he said no pickles. But Leo comes out. So this one, Benny and I went to go see This Wildlife, and that's our favorite band. And if This Wildlife is watching, I'm so sorry. I am a pacifist, and I promise I will behave at your concerts.
Don't kick me out.
Don't kick me out, please. No, so there was this one concert we went to, and it was at the OC, the Observatory. Yeah. And you know the Observatory, if anybody's been.
Such a funky.
It's a weird setup.
Yeah, weird.
But it's all standing. It's like standing room, and it's like tiered. So it's like what is that? Like a Roman amphitheater situation where the stage is kind of at the bottom and then everything else is like tiered. Mm-hmm. And so each tier has like a wall behind it, right? And we were on the second tier from the top. So the top is where the bar is. That's where you enter. So like you enter and then there's like bar on this side. And then there's that first tier. And then you step down that second tier, third tier, fourth tier until you get to the stage. And so we were on that second tier. And, we already had our drink. We just came from dinner. Like, it was a wonderful evening. And, like, we're going to see our favorite band, my favorite band. Yeah. And I was like, this is so much fun.
Y'all having a night.
We're having a night.
You're out with baby boo.
Y'all, it's date night. It's a concert. Who doesn't like a concert date night? So we were having a good time, and we were sitting there waiting for the show to start. And we were good. And right before they were about to start, so the opener went on. Then they had that break. And then the band that we went to go, like, we came for was about to go on. And so during that break, Benny... We saw the whole opener and we were like, okay, we can see. We had a nice sight line, but we couldn't really see too much because some people are taller than others and things.
Look, we were made tall.
It wasn't the ideal setting. Yeah. So then Benny saw behind us, which is a little higher, and he saw that there was some space. Okay. And so then he was like, but there were some people hanging out there, but he was like, I'm not sure if they were like holding that space for somebody else or if they were just like hanging out there just to hang out there. Like, he didn't know. So he asked, like a normal human does. And so he turned around. Yeah, he's like, hey, excuse me, sorry to interrupt. Like, do you mind if we stand there? If we stand right next to you or like stand in this area? Mm-hmm. And some chick turns around and she's like with the worst attitude.
No.
And she's like, we're standing here. Like, it was just, and I was like, no, what did she say? She said something like, don't you see we're standing here? Ooh, it was just really nasty. Cringe. Like just the way she said it.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's okay. We're gonna reenact it. I'm gonna be cringe lady, and you're gonna be Benny.
Yeah. So Benny like comes to cringe lady, and he's like, "Oh, excuse me, sorry to interrupt, but do you mind if we stand right next to you, like in this area?"
Oh, you're good there.
Oh, but like, are you holding the space for anybody?
Don't you see us standing here? Wow.
It was like that.
Oh.
It was like,
and I'm sure I didn't even have the attitude compared to that.
I was really, wow. And you know what bothers me? It bothers me because it wasn't even like a situation where it's like, you don't talk to my mans that way. Yeah. It's not like that. It's just like, he was being a decent human being. Yeah. And he asked politely. Yeah. All you had to say was, you know what, we're holding it for somebody. Like, show some level of decorum. Like, sorry it's taken, or like, oh, we're actually holding it for some friends. Yeah. And like, just kind of leave it at that. Just be a nice, just be nice. It's not that hard.
It's really not
that hard. You just got to be nice. And so I didn't appreciate the way she said that. And so then I was about to say something because, homegirl was already a drink in. And I was like, what?
There were flame behind Tati's eyes.
He said no pickles.
He said no fucking pickles.
It was one of those moments. And so then, of course, I turn around and I look at her like, I give her like the...
Hold on. Give me your best furrow brow.
I was like, because I was looking at him, looking at her, and I was like, oh no, she did. Like I just looked at her like, oh no,
didn't.
you don't talk to people like that. You crazy?
Yeah.
Whatever. I let her be, and I was like, you know what? We're still gonna enjoy the show. I'm like, but she irked me when she said that.
Yeah.
Like when people,
it just like was like
you're
a
just
quick
like
trigger.
Yeah. I was like, I just did not appreciate that. And I was like, but I don't know how to respond in a healthy way that's not going to get me kicked out. Because we had a security guard at the end of that little horseshoe that we were standing inside of.
You know what? It's so funny because my friend went to the same exact place.
Yes.
Didn't have the same outcome as you. She actually got kicked out of the observatory. So our other friend Sarah's always like, hey, like I want to go see this band. Like, yet again, I cannot go because I've been kicked out.
Yes. Once you get kicked out, you can't go back.
Can't go back. You can't show your face there again.
You can't.
And she was literally like, he said no fucking pickles. Yeah, it was wild. Her situation was different because people were like, they were jabbing each other.
Oh no.
Yeah, there were literally hands.
Yeah, see, and I won't, and this is my thing. I have yet to be in a physical fight. And this is why I'm a good concert goer. I promise this wildlife. I don't throw hands. I've never been in a fist. Well, life, I'm only 30, so who knows?
Who knows?
But as of today, as of right now, this very second, I've never had to be in a physical altercation with anybody ever. However, I do get into verbal altercations. And so the words will come out before, the jabs start being thrown.
Yeah.
And or in true Leo fashion, I get very petty. And so in this situation, I got very petty, and I was like, oh, really? You don't want to move?
What did you do?
So I said, okay. And then Benny's like, babe, it's okay. Don't worry. Relax. I'm like, oh, we're going to have a show today.
Oh,
and
no.
So I was like, because she was in the tier behind us and like it was a little higher, I'm 5'7". Homegirl had to be like 5'4". I could have like stepped on her. Sorry for all the 5'4" people.
Hey, this is offensive to me. I mean, it's not offensive to. I'm 5 feet even, so whatever. I mean, that's not even my tier at all.
Oh, she irritated me so much that I was like, you know what? She's shorter than me, and I know she can barely see from that tier, the stage. So I said, "Oh, really? Is that how you feel?"
Oh,
so I was like, arms flailing, and I was like, having a great time and like singing all the songs and being really annoying.
Thought was literally at the gym
best time.
at that place at the observatory.
I really was.
She was getting her gains that day.
Oh, I really was. And I had my drink in the air and like I was having a great time. And Benny was like, "You're making a scene. I need you to stop." And I said, "I will not."
And this is what she goes, "I'm just enjoying myself.
I'm having a great
in the
time.
moment. I'm getting my steps in. I'm shaking my booty. I'm waving my hands up in the air like I just don't care." Like.
It was one of those experiences.
But I love that. You definitely had that moment.
I had a moment. It was really one of those where I was like,
yeah. Not
because I just don't appreciate people not being nice.
Yeah. That wasn't even like a bae thing. That was a principle thing.
It was a principle. Yes. It was the principle of the thing.
So okay, what's keeping you laughing these days?
A lot of animal videos and a lot of like marriage videos are funny, but there's this one of the dog. I don't think Benny sent it to me. But there's this one, everybody has seen it already because it's old, but I love it. It's my favorite one. And I saw it again yesterday for like the 100th time.
I need to see it.
Where is it? He has it. Sorry, I was like chewing my boba.
Oh, no, you're good. Take a snack break.
It's a snack. Boba teas are nice. It's a twofer.
Dude, I get full.
Yeah, you do. It's a snack. It's like they're tapioca balls.
I just hate like, now that I know how much sugar's in there, I'm like, no, I don't want it. Don't tell me.
For the longest time, I didn't drink boba tea because of this chick that like died because she ate too many bobas in China. And I think she was in Taiwan.
Shut up.
No, it's for real. Check it out. It's if you look up chick who died from boba, and I think it was either in mainland China or in Taiwan. But homegirl had too many boba like drinks or boba balls. They got stuck in her intestinal tract and she died. That was intense. It scared me.
There's actually several stories of different girls that are dying after boba.
Yeah, I'm telling you, death by boba.
Death by boba.
That sounds like a new band.
Okay, so right here it's like a teen was hospitalized after not having a poo for 5 days because her stomach and intestines were full of starchy bubble tea balls. Yep. This 14-year-old girl was treated at a hospital in East China, and it is said that she was very fond of the sweet drink. Also known as pearl milk tea boba tea. And so there's x-rays of this, and they're all trapped. Holy... Oh my God, I'm going to post this here.
Oh,
and it says, an x-ray shows hundreds of tiny Topiaca spears trapped all along her gut. And that's crazy because I think of like the dentist, you know, I grind my teeth at night. Like I have to get braces again. And that's why like they're like, well, we can't really make you a mouth guard because like you have to go through braces again, right? Yeah. Your bite's fucked up essentially. Oh, no. And so I don't like, I'm a lazy chewer. I just like, I'm like Kirby. I'll like chew a little bit and just go for it, right?
Right.
And I'm just thinking like, man, I like boba. I'm trying to slow down because I now understand that boba is very high in sugar.
Yes, it is. It is.
And it feels like a meal after you eat it, but I don't fully chew them.
No, you have to fully chew.
Oh my God.
What is it? There's science behind it.
I'm going to die.
Yes. please chew your boba. Here lies Justice Narrows. Death by boba. You're gonna read that tombstone's gonna read like the Haunted Mansion tombstones.
Oh my God, yes.
Death by boba.
Death by boba. Here lies J Fox.
Yeah.
She would not chew her goddamn boba. That's crazy.
You can't. Girl, you gotta take care of yourself.
How do you take care of your mental health?
Oh, that's a better question. Memes.
Well, then let's see it.
Relatable memes. So this one is a relatable. Speaking of relatable memes, I love dog memes right now. Dog video memes or like animal memes.
Yeah.
I like memes that are.
I'm all about the cats right now.
But I like the funny ones where they're almost like. They almost act like a human stuck in an animal body.
Oh, I love it.
There's a lot of those out there. So this particular one is an old one. It's oldie but a goodie. And everybody has seen it already. But I saw it for the first time after I don't know how many months. And it still made me crack up.
You realized that was right.
So that's like stuff like that make me crack up because I'm like, yeah, that's literally me in an argument.
It's so funny.
When I realize I'm wrong. And I really I love, those are the videos that I love because it's like, it really does make you wonder. I mean, for those of you who believe in reincarnation, going back to spirituality, like these are little humans stuck in like fur baby bodies.
You think it's like, oh yeah, old spirits or technically a recycled spirit inside of a new body that isn't a human.
Isn't that something? We're all recycled spirits.
Wow, just like in the Haunted Mansion.
Oh, don't like that one.
Okay, but the new movie looks like it's gonna be very cool.
It does. I'm actually really excited to see it. Like I'm a huge Disney fan. I know Benny likes horror movies, so he's gonna really want to see it. I'm gonna be looking at it.
Danny DeVito's all up in there. Fucking Rosario Dawson's in there. I think Owen Wilson's in it. And like the trailer by itself already looks really cool. Plus, they haven't even shown you Jared Leto's gonna be in there.
Oh, what?
Jamie Lee Curtis is gonna be in there as Madame Leota. Yeah, I'm like, it's Jamie Lee Curtis's year. I'm telling you now, she's getting an Oscar, but you know, it all will be revealed.
This is gonna be good.
Yeah.
Oh, so it'll be fun. Well, Danny DeVito kind of sold it for me because I'm like, he usually makes funny, you know, like he brings the comic relief and makes it a more lighthearted. Yeah. Which in a scary movie is always appreciated for those of us who are non-spooky people.
The only thing about Danny DeVito that gets me every time is that I'm always joking around like his ears must be ringing all the 100%. Time because everyone's always like, would you rather blah 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 or fuck Danny DeVito? Always.
I know. I wonder why people always go for that. I was like, leave that man alone.
I don't know.
Leave Britney alone.
Leave Britney. Damn, really though. Leave Britney.
Truly,
leave her alone,
girl.
Y'all.
Like, y'all gotta give it a rest. She needs the rest.
God. Yeah, I don't understand the fantasy there. You know, like why sometimes like. people just fall in love with artists the way they do. Here in the show, we also have a segment called Gen Z Meme. What can it mean? And so this is a perfect segue because I happened to stumble upon, since we are millennial women, no longer in our early 20s, mid 20s, rocking the careers, rocking engagements.
Yeah, I know.
Yay. Not her, not me. Rocking, like you're about to move out, the whole thing. Like this is that great part of your life where you're like, I'm going to say yes to that. Yes. I'm going to say no to that. And I'm not going to explain to myself because I don't need to.
I don't need to anymore.
But sometimes we need explanations to other things. So here's this Gen Z meme that I found today that I was like, oh, maybe she'll help me figure this out. And basically a lot of these Gen Z memes go as follows. And it's like the prompt is find the mayonnaise. And so boomers are always like, I hate my wife. Right. And millennials are like, I hate my life. But not us. We love our life. And Gen Z is like, find the mayonnaise. And like, what is this? What does this Gen Z mean?
What does this Gen Z mean? Can you not find the mayonnaise? Do you visit different and you know what, I shouldn't be judging because I go to different supermarkets and I can't find the mayonnaise sometimes. I'm a mayonnaise lover. But I don't understand what's the AI like anthropomorphic.
Yes, all of those words. Like
robotic human with
Lego legs.
The Lego legs
on top
Lego
of a
tail.
Keyboard, I think.
Oh, is that a keyboard? I didn't even see that.
No, maybe not. It looks gritty though.
Oh, maybe it's a grid. Oh, like on the grid.
Yeah.
Like they're on the grid.
They're on the we're figuring it out.
They're on the grid. Oh my gosh.
The mayonnaise.
They're on the grid finding the mayonnaise. Maybe mayonnaise is like, oh my gosh, you're making me use like my anthropology.
Get in there. Bring it back.
We're trying to figure out the Gen Zs in their natural habitat.
Yeah.
They're on the grid trying to find the mayonnaise, but the mayonnaise must be like a symbol for something else.
Oh, maybe like the meaning of life?
Like the meaning of life. M in the mayonnaise, M in meaning of life. Whoa. It makes sense to me. I don't know. Maybe it's something like that.
I'm going to say solved.
And they're like crawling. They're crawling to finding the meaning of life.
So like, yeah, you're like a baby. You're in your infancy. You can't even run. You can't even walk yet, but you just want to find the mayonnaise. Wow. I also hate the way mayonnaise is spelled and sounds.
I do too.
But I love
mayonnaise.
Oh my God.
People don't like it. You know,
with Chipotle?
Yes. Have you done the Chipotle? Oh, delicious. It's so good. You know my favorite thing though, growing up, and people are going to be like, how can you eat that? I'm like, this was my childhood. I used to love, my grandparents my grandfather in particular, rest in peace, he's no longer with us, but he would always eat tortillas with mayonnaise, and it had to be the McCormick mayonnaise with the lemon.
Whoa.
And he would roll it up, and that was a snack.
What in the world?
Did you do that too?
No.
Oh, no.
No, we did I'm sorry, I didn't mean to break your heart there. We did we're basic as fuck. We would make the tortillas and put sour cream. Okay. And then like sprinkle some salt and then roll it up.
Hell yeah.
And then have little taquitos.
Yeah. They're like little tacos. Yeah. Like little, I won't say cold tacos because obviously the tortilla was like warmed up
a little bit.
But like, but like the mayonnaise was cold, and like you would roll it up and you eat it.
You're throwing. Did you say lime or lemon?
Lime. It's the McCormick. So you know the McCormick.
You are blowing my mind.
Yeah. So there's a McCormick bottle of mayonnaise, and it's just McCormick because I haven't seen any other brand do it. And it had to be. My grandfather would always. It had to be that mayonnaise. It couldn't be any other mayonnaise.
Wow.
So it was that mayonnaise, and it was the McCormick with lime. That's what it is.
He was like a mayonesa elitist.
Yeah, he was. And it had to be that one.
Yeah.
And so we would always have that in the house. And to this day, like I will still eat that. And that's like what's it? Comfort food.
A quick snack.
It's a quick snack. Yummy. It's comfort food. You know, mayonnaise on a tortilla, call it a day.
I'm going to have to try this. I'm going to have to go buy the McCormick mayonnaise.
It's so good. Benny says no. But you know what? This is coming from a man who likes tejuino. So, you know, I don't know. That's
what
questionable.
What the hell is that?
It's fermented corn juice.
Ew.
Yeah, it's not the best. I don't like it. He says his thumbs up.
Does it taste like the corn juice that comes out of esquites? Like when Oh.
It's fermented. Yes, it does. Oh, it's so not good. It's not good. Yeah, they're at the old Sears Towers.
Wow, you have to physically go somewhere where it looks like the Haunted Mansion to get this juice. Incredible.
That one looks more like Tower of Terror.
The Tower of Terror. It does. The old Sears.
The old like Art Deco buildings.
Oh my God. What street is that in? That's like in downtown next to the old.
Like industrial now, all of that. I don't even know what streets those are.
Amazing. I feel so left behind because there's so much like Latino food. Look, it's out there that maybe I just don't even know. Like I've never heard of any of either. My mind is like expanding.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think it's like regional things. Like, but I've tried it for the first time when we went with our friend, my best friend Marcy, to her
Shout
pueblo.
out Marcy.
Shout out to Marcy. So we went to her pueblo for the fiestas, and her family was gracious enough to let us stay at their house. Aww. And like we experienced this whole beautiful festival, and they had tejuino, and I tried it, and I was like, I don't know about this. Like it was just like that. And I was like, I don't know about this flavor here. And then he's like, this is delicious. It's the best one I've ever had. And I was like, do you want mine?
Oh, fair. Yeah, if you haven't had it.
I just like, it's an acquired taste though. It is. I can see where it's nostalgic, but I guess it's the same thing with like, for me, the mayonnaise on the tortilla.
Yeah. I've yet to find anybody. Hold on, let me scan in my brain.
Yeah.
No, I've yet to find anyone who doesn't like elotes.
This is true. I mean, corn, it was gold. It was marketed as gold way back when in the 1500s. So it makes sense. It's solid gold.
Yeah. I like how like the güeritos be like, all right, let me like cut, open up this can of corn, drain it, put it on a pan. They go buy the cheese. They feel real authentic.
Yeah.
And like, get it, y'all. Get it.
You do that.
Yeah.
You do that. I mean, corn in all of its beautiful forms is delicious.
But it's so funny.
Corn syrup.
Corn. High corn fructose syrup.
High corn fructose corn syrup.
High corn. You got to say it like 5 times.
Yeah.
High corn fructose.
Corn nuts.
But you are reminding me, there was this long time ago, long time ago, when I had to go to like the southern part of Mexico to help at an orphanage. And they're like, all right. And for the most part, it was always home cooking. And then one day they're like, we're ordering pizza. Again, all of this in Spanish, okay?
Yes, of course.
And I'm like, fuck yeah, I can't wait. I want pizza.
You're like, Domino's.
Right. So then the pizza gets there and they open up.
It's not the same.
It's not pizza. It was a giant Mexican pizza.
Tostada.
It was a giant, the size of, basically the size of a pizza. But it had beans, it had lettuce.
Everything.
Every ground beef.
All your food groups.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, cool.
You're like, how do you cut this?
But then I was like, why did I think it was pizza in this part of town? We're in the mountains in southern Mexico.
There are
barely any bars.
There are no pizza stands out there. Pizza shops.
There was no Domino's.
No Domino's.
None of that.
No Pizza Hut. No Little Caesars.
Yeah.
None of that.
But I just remember being like,
yeah.
Oh, that's what they meant by pizza.
Yes, Mexican pizza. I love food. I don't consider myself a foodie though. Well, I guess I do. I don't know. I just like it. Yeah. It's delicious. And I try everything at least once because you never know what you're going to be into. But yeah, there's a lot of beautiful foods out there.
Oh my God, I used to get so upset about eating in a weird way because I don't necessarily like cooking. I like flavorful food, but I don't like cooking.
That's the Leo in us. I too don't like cooking.
It's annoying. Josh can cook, so he just knows recipes, can cook really well. Uses up way too many dishes to make all of this delicious food, but he's like, but you need to sear and saute and blah blah different temperatures. You can't be mixing. You gotta let it breathe. Blah, blah. Let me.
He's a chef.
He's a whole thing. And so then he's like, okay, good, but now you gotta wash all these dishes. God damn it! I ate for 5 minutes, guy. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's insane.
And I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
But do I like to cook?
No. But that's what I'm saying. I can get lost in the sauce. I can go to Flavor Town. Yeah. I can hang out there.
We like it there.
But it doesn't mean that I want to be the mayor of Flavor Town.
No. It's more of like a suitcase visit and you get out.
I'm like exactly like the auntie, right? You're like, oh, look, my sister has kids. I love these kids. They're so cute. All right. Yeah. It's been a few hours. I'm out of here.
We're out of here.
Peace.
Feed them some sugar.
Have some Leave them with the fucking grenade of M&Ms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or whatever they like. Yeah. I'm not. That's me.
Or what's something that keeps you up at night? What's an unanswerable question?
I feel like going back to
past lives and just like reincarnation and
our recycled selves,
recycled souls. Yeah, our recycled souls. Is there an afterlife? You know, I don't know. I always think about that. I always think about just like, where do we go after this? What is our? Oh, you know what has been keeping me up? It's like purpose. What is my purpose? Because like I was talking about this with my parents yesterday, and they watched a new documentary. I don't know if it's new, but they watched a documentary on Bob Marley. Ooh. And it was interesting in just like his life and what he contributed to the world. But he died so young. He died at 36 from melanoma. And so I wonder, like, I always think about what, you know, if we have a purpose here to serve. And my brain is like going over all the ones.
You're the math lady right now.
Yeah, I'm like talking out my thoughts right now. Yeah. But there's you know, when you think about just life and purpose, you wonder if, you know, when we die, we're dead because we've already served our purpose here. And so when I think about, like, for example, Bob Marley, like, he died at 36. That's so young. Yeah. Like, he still had so much life to live. And because I'm 30. Yeah. To be dead in 6 years is wild. It's a wild thought to me. Yeah. And so, but when you think about it, you're like, well, yeah, he did so much.
He did a lot in a short amount of time.
In his lifetime. And so you have to wonder if whatever higher power you believe in, or like the universe or whatever, said, okay, well, you served your purpose. Like, you're done. Yeah. You gotta go. Bye. Like, and I just wonder, that has been keeping me up. It's just like, what is my purpose here? Like, where am I supposed to be at? What am I supposed to do? How does this work? What is life?
This is where a Gen Z would come in and tell you. Yeah. Nothing matters. Where's the mayonnaise? Nothing matters. Yeah. Where's the mayonnaise?
Yeah, it's very philosophical. Welcome to our new podcast. Philosophical podcast.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have those. It's so funny because a lot of people, I feel like those are two different things. Like, but a lot of people would argue like that we have created meaning to things, right? So we give things purpose. So like, it's funny because one of the unanswerable questions I was going to bring you, if we created wealth and we created money, right? Then who is the earth indebted to?
This is true.
Right? And so I was like, oh, that's fucking wild, right? Like, whoa, that is unanswerable.
Yeah, that is unanswerable.
Because then you hear like certain countries are going bankrupt and certain countries are like in debt, and you're like, in debt to who?
In debt to, I was thinking the same thing. Like, that's another unanswerable. There's so many unanswered questions, folks. I need some problem solvers and some people who are giving us answers to come and tell us. Because
who was the one that figured out that pi was 3 point blah, 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 blah,
yeah. Who was that guy?
Bring him back.
I'm
gonna need you for consultation.
Bring him back. That's a big one, because you have to wonder. I mean, everybody's like always like, oh, it's the 1%. It's like, yeah, but who are they? Yeah. Who are those people? Yeah. Where do they live? Yeah. What do they do?
Are they underground? Is it like in Austin Powers when they're in a volcano?
Yes.
Just hanging out?
Even people? Aliens.
You're like that guy, the History Channel guy?
Yeah. Aliens. Like, you don't know. We don't know. I mean, but I think about that often because we're in an economic sort of
structure.
Yeah. Well, not structure, like phase. We're in this phase of our economy where everything just feels like it's falling apart. Like, we have a debt ceiling and it's being broken or not. Like, we're trying to figure out, like, if we can pay people's student loans. Like, people our age can't afford houses where our grandparents could have just, like, easily gone in, working at, like, In-N-Out and, like, bought a house. Like, it's just a weird phase. You're just like, what is happening?
I'd argue, just from that, that... because I went with my mama to go see Sheryl Crow. Oh my God, Sheryl Crow's 61 years old, baby, and she's got it. That whole squad has got it. I was telling Belly, I'm like, I've never heard, like, you know, I've gone to different shows where I'm like, oh, this is good. I'm like, but there was something so rich in the music and the sound that it was like, oh, this is like decades of experience of people that perform and write music. I'm like, they didn't miss a beat. But then, like I said, I'd beg to argue that, like, there's something that Sheryl Crow said last night that was like, oh, weird, like, this is so crazy. And she goes, 30 years ago when I was inspired to write the song, or almost 40 years ago when I was inspired to write the song, I was living in California. I lived in California for 27 years. She had said that, like, at the time, she was like, we know better now, but at the time it was a cross-dresser, so no, we don't call someone a cross-dresser. You go, a woman was at this cafe, inspired the song, right? And she goes,
And then at the very same time, simultaneously in Texas, there was a shooting that had taken place at an abortion clinic. Yeah, and she goes, and so it's fascinating because, you know, she lives in Nashville today.
Right.
And she goes that, you know, like the whole thing with the drag queens, right? She goes, it's very surreal that 30 to 40 years ago, we were dealing with these things that we're essentially dealing with still now.
Oh, 100%.
And so I think it's really interesting because, you know, we're thinking about like the meaning of life and purpose and like how we feel like there's economic turmoil and like uncertainty.
Yes.
And it makes me think like every generation has felt something similar
100%.
like this.
100%.
Right? And we're generations down now, and I'm like, we haven't figured it out.
We have not.
But yet we are the ones who give ourselves meaning. Why can't we figure this out?
Right.
Insane.
We keep getting recycled and we still can't figure it out.
And we can't figure it out.
Yeah. That's such a good question.
Yeah.
And that is such a good just analysis of where we're at right now as a human people. Like, I think that always is interesting to me, is just how humans work. And I always hear, like, people always like, why do you always refer to people as humans? I'm like, well, isn't that what we are?
We are.
Like,
that's literally what we are. We are
literally what we are.
Human mammals.
We are human, yes, mammals. And the way humans function it's very interesting. Like, we go around in the same circles and we don't seem to pick up on patterns, or we don't seem to understand what the heck is happening half the time. And it's like, sir, we've been through this.
Which is why people are bringing back thin eyebrows. Stop it.
Stop it. And the low jeans.
Stop it.
We don't want the low jeans. Both Jess and I are not wearing low jeans.
No, we're not.
Both wearing high-waisted jeans, and I like it.
My fupa is put away.
Leave it there. Let us leave it there.
It does not need to be coming out.
It doesn't need to party. There is no fupa fiestas here.
No.
So some of you may have heard a drop in the frequency in our audio quality, if you will. And that was my bad, because I forgot to hit the record button. And, you know, technical difficulties happen, but the conversation was so good, so you just gotta deal with it. However that sounds for you in your car and your headphones.
Turn up your volume.
Just turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up.
There's a song for that. Was it? Yeah.
Yeah,
something
I think
like
so.
that.
Yeah.
That's a song. I was like, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, but I love getting to chat with people about unanswerable questions, because they're usually it's like, oh, we go down the spiral, try to figure it out, and we still can't figure it out. But hey, at least we've chipped away at the iceberg a little bit more.
We tried.
Yeah.
And we're being problem solvers.
Yeah.
Which is what the world needs more of, quite frankly.
What the world needs now
Yes.
is brain thinking harder or something. I'm just kidding.
Yes, please exercise your brain.
Please exercise your brain.
As much as you exercise the rest of your body at the gym. There should be like brain gyms.
Ooh.
You know, where you go and play like puzzles or something.
Oh
or,
my
I don't know.
God.
Brain gyms.
Somebody do this.
I'm
with
an
her.
idea girl.
Yeah.
Brain gyms.
We're going to go to the brain gym. It's going to be a membership like a gym. So it doesn't have to be as expensive as school, but you can still exercise your mind.
Yeah. And it'll be useful exercises. Because I feel like school, like the education system has a lot of problems and a lot of fixes. Like we need to fix it. And it doesn't exercise your brain the way it once did. And we need to find new exercises.
Yeah. Bring cursive back. I'm all mad about it. Benny has a teacher across the room.
I know, sorry, English teacher.
I've seen your penmanship. Bring cursive back.
Dude, I'm going to the doctor's office. I'm so happy there's computers now.
I know. I don't.
Goodness.
I've always. Yeah. I wonder how they did it, like in the 80s and the 90s, when there wasn't like when doctors would prescribe things on the pad and paper, write it down, take it to the pharmacist, and somehow like the pharmacist was trained on like shit writing.
Yeah.
How?
I don't know, but I think about that all the time.
Or do you think they were just faking it to make it? They're like, oh, what do you have? What are you going for? They're like slow, like low key vetting you. Like, oh, okay, I think you're good. I'll give you this. I'll give you this.
I mean, it would explain why some older people probably still have some of the problems that they had. It's like, oh, this didn't even work, but I'm still taking it. It's like, well, then don't take it if it's not working.
Dude.
Oh my goodness.
Dude.
I'm not a fan of the pharmaceutical world.
Oh man, that's scary. What tea have you brought for the podcast this week?
I brought wintermelon tea.
Okay, what gossip tea have you brought to
It's like, oh. What's the tea? You know, I was thinking about this because you gave me homework. Jess gives homework.
I give homework. If you're going to come on this podcast, there's homework.
This one, I had problems with this question.
Some people do.
I was hard because I was like, what can I say? Like, what's a good juicy piece of something? I'm like, I don't have. My life is very boring.
But it's not.
It's it's interesting in its own way, but there's no like juiciness that I could give. So then I was like, you know what? We're gonna flip it, and instead of like the tea, we're gonna call it positivity.
Ooh.
So I feel like let's give a highlight.
The positivity.
Yeah, like a gossip highlight, like a gossip situation, but more like
uplifting and
exciting. So I work for the People's Project, which is powered by the LA Fed, the Los Angeles County Federation of Labor, and it's a beautiful program. It's a beautiful project that gives back to the communities and really gives power back to the communities. And so I'm super, super duper stoked that our website looks really awesome.
Dude, something about having a good website makes you so much more authentic.
It's so cool.
It helps.
It does help. And it's been up for a minute, but it was just a lot of editing. For those who are in the creative space, like you're always...
It's a lot. It's a lot of attention to detail.
There's a lot of attention to detail. And then there's also a lot of like, you're like, this could be better. Or like, we could do this or we could do that. And that's what John Lennon said, like, that's like the curse of being an artist, right? It's like... you're always wanting to do something.
You got to know when to cut it.
You have to know when to just be like, you know what, this is it. This is a good one. Because you can sit there and keep picking at it. And you just got to send it out into the world. So now it's out in the world.
Yeah.
And you can check us out at thepeoplesproject.la. And we're helping communities all over the place. And I want like people who want to volunteer, you can sign up there. And we just give back, for everything from like food drives, food distributions to like community events, and we're always looking for people to kind of man our stations and just come back and help out. So if y'all want to do that, you should check it out.
What is your guys' slogan?
Empowering people block by block.
Positivity.
Empowering communities block by block.
Nice.
Positivity.
I love it. I love it.
That's what we are. That's what we do. So I'm super stoked about that. Go check it out. It's a really good website.
I love it.
Beautiful.
We're setting foundations.
We're setting foundations. This is good stuff.
And it's stuff that's like selfless, stuff that helps people, considering people, human mammals,
all the peoples. And the goal is going back to your existential question of like who controls the economy, and like the goal is to eventually. I was thinking about this. The goal is to eventually have no nonprofits, right?
Yeah.
And people are always like, "Oh, that's so bad, though. Why?" But it's like, think about it.
Because if
they only exist because whoever is controlling the economy isn't giving to everybody equally, and so then you have to create these nonprofits that then help the communities that need it.
Yeah, the goal is for all of us to be able to walk around pulled up from our bootstraps.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So the goal is to eventually. I mean, it's like, who is it? That commercial for that dating app Hinge.
Oh, what about it?
The goal is to delete Hinge.
Oh, the goal is to delete Hinge.
You know what I mean?
You want people to get married.
Because you want people to get married and find their true love and their soulmate or whatever.
Absolutely.
And so that's the same thing with nonprofits. Like my goal is to hopefully in my lifetime know that does not have to exist anymore.
Oh.
And so I hope to see that.
All right. Hey, you know what? Put it out in the world and it'll happen. And this is what you're doing. You literally. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today, Tati.
Thank you.
If people want to follow you, where can they follow you on?
Oh, that's a good question. I really need to create like a professional page.
Okay, give them the fun one.
Okay, the fun one is at my Tatis are better than yours.
I love her fucking Instagram name. Look, you know what? You can be professional and have a sense of humor. I'm just saying.
You know what? I may have to start a side career as a personality.
Right.
Just come on people's podcasts and we'll just talk about everything under the sun. Yeah. At my Tatis are better than yours.
Awesome.
Yeah. Feel free to follow me.
Cool. And then people can see more about what you do on there. And how to help. How to help with the nonprofit.
For sure. And follow the nonprofit. It's at the People's Proj _LA.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to Chris Bonifay and Sent to Destroy Studios for having my podcast here in your space. Thank you to Ted Lee Jones for the extra equipment, which is the reason why we can see Tati today. And then thank you to Eric Ayala for helping create the cool visual graphics that inspire, this. And thank you, Tati, for coming in today.
Thank you. I had such a good time. This is my first podcast, you guys. This is awesome.
Yeah, I'm so glad you had a good time.
I did.
Rad. And guys, last but not least, thank you for tuning in every single week to the show, for getting silly with us, for liking the podcast, for rating, reviewing. Don't forget to subscribe. As you know, it helps us big time. If you like memes, this is the place for you. If you like talking about silly shit, this is a place for you. Don't forget to follow the pod at Talks and Sips, TALKSNSIPS, and myself at JFox with 2 X's and 2 underscores. Feel free to write in at talksandsip@gmail.com, especially if you have a cool meme that we haven't haven't dove into. Is that Thank you. Okay.
Or fell into.
Or fell into, tripped into, swam into.
Doom scrolled into.
Doom scrolling
all
into.
Of the above.
All that aside, if you'd like to support the show, make sure to check out the Patreon, because sometimes we get goodies and we send them your way. And lastly, message the pod on Insta for merch, because we still have hats and the sun's coming, baby. Anyway, all that being said, I am J Fox.
I'm Tatiana Ramirez.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.